Have you heard Donald Trump say that for Senator Ted Cruz, it's almost mathematically now impossible for him to get 1237 on that first ballot? Does he have a point?
Yes, he does. So let's go over to the delegate map. We could show you that. Ted Cruz has to win in the 90% of what's left. It's just inconceivable. I'm going to give you this here. Let's say Donald Trump, I'm going to give him all 95. It might be closer to 90, but let's give him 95 for now and see where that would put Donald Trump out here around 850. You see Ted Cruz is on track to get a goose egg tonight. That's 95 delegates, and he's going to get none of them, which leaves him back here. And then if you project forward to April, I just want to go through the rest of April, this is giving Donald Trump 75% of the delegates next Tuesday night, where let's see if Ted Cruz can pick some up in Pennsylvania. Let's see if he can find a way to pick some up in Maryland. But at the moment, Donald Trump, and we assume he gets momentum out of the big New York win. He was already leading in all these other states for next Tuesday. Then Donald Trump is out here past the 75% mark. Ted Cruz, even if he picks up a few, is still way back here. It is mathematically near impossible. There's about that much of a chance. You could just put a piece of paper through the possibility of Ted Cruz getting there. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. That's assuming Ted Cruz gets 90% in California. And he's done well out in the West here, but it's just Ted Cruz knows this, and you've heard it from him in recent days. His only chance is at a contested convention. The challenge now is to keep Donald Trump with a big win tonight, potential for another big wins plural.
5 states next Tuesday.
Right. There's a possibility. If you look at this math here, 955, there's a possibility that Donald Trump is even closer to 960, somewhere in that ballpark, at the end of April. Then there are 502 delegates left.
How does he get to 1237? That's the number he needs on the first ballot in Cleveland to avoid some sort of contested convention.
So let's just put this out a little bit, put this race all the way out to June. This assumed Donald Trump, New Jersey, winner take all. Donald Trump wins in West Virginia. Ted Cruz continues his success out here in the West, right? So this scenario gives Indiana to Cruz. Watch this and pay attention to that as we go. If you go out here now and Donald Trump can win 70% in California, that's a tough task. But if he can win big in New York tonight, if he gets momentum, they say he's going to spend TV money out in California. If he did that, would I get him? I just got him to 1211. Now, this is being very generous to Trump in winning the delegates here on pace like he looks like tonight, 70% in California. That would get him to 1211. So can you get him there? Well, can he take Indiana instead of having Ted Cruz win Indiana? That gets you up to 1222. Pick Washington or Oregon. Let's say he can somehow come back, win Washington instead of Ted Cruz. Unlikely a conservative-based state there, but that gets him to 1236.
Wow.
If you see that math right there. But look, this is a scenario, but just think of where we are. Now we're trying to tinker to see if he could upset in this state or do a little better in that state. But it's not hard. It's not hard. The best way to put this is it's not hard to get Donald Trump to 1210. It's not that inconceivable to get Donald Trump above 1175 and to 1200, and in a best-case scenario, to get Donald Trump either just over 1237 or so close to it that if he's at 1225 and you arrive in Cleveland, it would be near impossible to see the Republican Party. And remember, that would be after June 7th. They would have time before the convention if he's at 1220 or even 1175. Then you go back to the 54 non-committed delegates in Pennsylvania and you say, hey, I won your state with 50% plus. You got to come to me. You go to the unbound delegates from Guam, American Samoa, the Virgin Islands. You try to lobby Marco Rubio delegates. Maybe you try to cut a deal with John Kasich. So where Donald Trump is on June 7th, you then have time before the convention. And if he's above 1200, above 1175, you would assume the guy who wrote The Art of the Deal would try to make some deals.